Yeah. I guess they muted themselves. Huh? I guess they. Like if I really just put it heard it in.
Call this meeting to order. The first order of business is a public hearing. Council Bill number 25-11. An ordinance of the City of Normandy amending section 405-70, accessory buildings of City of Normandy Code and ordinances regarding setbacks of accessory buildings. So this is an ordinance that we've been working on in planning and zoning with the recommendation that came down. And basically, what the ordinance does, it just makes sure that when it comes to sheds and garages and things of that nature, that you don't have something that's 5 times the size of your house, that we make sure that we maintain the sight lines and make sure that we maintain also when it comes to drainage and things of that nature. So planning and zoning, we've taken this up for a few months now, and everything, and this was our recommendation. Andy, you want to say something?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So what this does is it's the specific requirements that Mayor was referencing. Accessory buildings cannot exceed 25 feet in height. They cannot exceed the height of the main building, right? So you can't, build a shed that is 3 stories tall if you have a 2-story house. They can't occupy more than 30% of the required side or rear yard for the code. That's going to limit the bulk of what can be built. And then specifically regarding setbacks, it requires that accessory buildings shall not be nearer than 6 feet to any property line. So for reference, the residential setback for the main structure in our residential zoning districts is 10 feet. So if the house can be no closer to 10 feet to a side or rear lot line, the accessory building, like a shed, has a little more leeway. It can be 4 feet closer. The reason we started this was because the current ordinance for I think the current ordinance intends to have this 6-foot setback, but the way it's written, I think, is actually requires accessory buildings to be within 6 feet. It's kind of it's drafted in reverse. So we needed to change it because we had people who had to come get variances to build very simple, routine sheds. This would fix that and take a lot of administrative burden off of the board's adjustment. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to. Oh, one other thing that this is adding, the P&Z is recommending that there be a slight change to the currently the code prohibits accessory buildings from being used for any sort of dwelling purpose, right? So you can't build basically like a second, mini house in your backyard. P&Z is recommending that in the A and B single-family dwelling districts, that actually you can use the accessory building for dwelling purposes, kind of like as a mother-in-law suite, but the person who is dwelling in there has to be on the occupancy permit, right? So this is not going to be for Airbnbs and things like that. I mean, I guess if somebody wants to add a renter to their occupancy permit, they can maybe do that, but that's really not going to happen. So this is intended to be dwelling purposes for people who would otherwise be living inside the main house. So if there are any questions, yeah.
There's a problem on Henderson Road. All of the houses on Henderson Road, with the exception of 7247, face the golf course. So there has to be a distinction there of what actually is the front of the house, what actually is the back of the house, because a lot of people get that confused. The front of the house faces the golf course, the back of the house faces the road. So it's confusing.
Right.
But I don't know if there are any other streets in Normandy that have that kind of a situation, but right now the easements and so forth and the ordinances which say have certain conditions about what actually, where you can put a fence, how high that fence can be, setbacks and all that thing. We're going to have to look at that and see if that's what will apply there, because it's a different situation.
That is correct. So I would say with regard to Henderson Road specifically, and if there are even more specifically if there are particular properties that are having issues, we may want to have separate conversations about that, because that's, I mean, that's a very particular situation. I think it's gonna be
Right.
subject to a separate zoning analysis that then can really be captured in the code, right? And so if there need to be amendments to the zoning code to accommodate that specifically, that's something that, you know, perhaps you and Marty and I could talk about sometime.
Yeah, because,
As well as your
one of the
co-counsel
things that we're
member.
gonna have to do eventually, if we get this historic district
Right.
established, then that would be one of the things that would be particular to that block only, 7200 block of Henderson. Because there's a lot of the language of our ordinances that say things that can go on in the backyard that can't go on in the front yard. But ours is a little different situation.
Right, because the front yard,
Right.
the front yard is used as the backyard by, I would imagine, by most residents of Henderson, right?
Well,
So in regards to
Not
this,
necessarily, okay.
in regards to this ordinance, do
Correct.
we need to change anything?
I don't think so.
Specifically-
Again, and Councilwoman Valle and I had spoken about this at length with Sam as well, when Sam was here, about how that'll be addressed when the historic district ordinance is drafted and adopted. So,
Okay.
no, we don't need to do anything with regard to this particular code provision, but it's a really good point that Councilwoman Valle brought up.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience or comments about Council Bill number 25-11?
Yes,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Madam Mayor. I'd like to ask the chief if, how you feel about the safety and code with this ordinance. Feel it's safe with the buildings? Is
So
there-
I tend to defer to the planning and zoning board because they have the people that actually study the St. Louis County Code, and they're more familiar with the codes as far as building and structures. With regards to the police department, we would deal with violations of ordinance, but not necessarily on private property in the absence of administrative search warrants. So even if there was a violation, we'd have to go through an entire process with the courts, with our attorney, to gain administrative search warrants to even go onto the property if there was an issue. And then that would come back before the building commissioner, so that's kind of outside of our realm. With regards to safety, as long as the buildings are being built with permits and they're built up to code, I think we're good.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Yeah. Can you just so, if anybody has any questions, can you go through the process? No one's gonna go and like, I'm building they have to come into City Hall and go.
Oh, right, so before anyone builds, any sort of a structure, right, they have to get a building permit, and they have to submit building plans, and those are reviewed by, at the very least, city staff. Depending on the complexity, might have to go out to an external engineer, right, and so permits have to be issued, and the plans are reviewed to make sure that they conform with all of the requirements of the code, right, so no one's getting a permit if their plan is to build a 30-foot shed 3 feet from the property line, right? That's not gonna happen, so.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience or about Council Bill number 25-11? Council Bill number 25-12. An ordinance of the City of Normandy, Missouri, amending section 405.840 of the City of Normandy Code of Ordinances regarding the manner of notice for meetings for Board of Adjustment. So this ordinance, which we also talked about, in planning and zoning, outlines procedures for not amending. If someone has a, what do you call it?
A variance request.
Yeah, a variance request. So we discussed basically how we would post and give notice to property owners that are surrounding the property, and also property owners that are people that have a vested interest in that property.
Yeah, so currently the code requires that, whenever a citizen applies for a variance from the requirements of the zoning code, they have to go before the Board of Adjustment, and the code requires that the hearing before the Board of Adjustment has to be advertised in the newspaper for 15 days prior to the meeting. That's not actually required by statute. The only thing that's required is publication in advance according to the Sunshine Law, just like any other city meeting. And the cost to publish in the newspaper, it's expensive. If you don't get it done in time, then you have to push the meeting back. It's just, it imposes unnecessary restrictions on the city. What P&Z decided to do instead of that, but still wanting to give, additional notice beyond just what's required. So this will require that 15 days prior to a hearing, there shall be posted basically a little sign in the front yard of the property saying, this property is subject to a variance hearing, a variance request, there's gonna be a hearing at this date and time at this location, and also notice will be mailed to all property owners within 185 feet. So this still gives more notice than is even really required by statute, but also I think, by posting something in the neighborhood and mailing things to the neighbors, you're actually getting the word out, unlike, posting something in a legal newspaper that even lawyers don't read, right? So like this way that the citizens actually get notice of what's going on in their neighborhood. So, yeah, that's the gist of it. It's pretty straightforward.
Any citizen questions about Council Bill number 25-12? Last one, Council Bill number 25-13, an ordinance of the City of Normandy, Missouri, amending Chapter 405 zoning regulations by an enactment of a new section 405-.750, regulating outside dining as an accessory use. So this is the first ordinance that we would have for outside dining. Mr. you wanna- Yeah, I'm coming. This is the proprietor for Honey's Bar and Grill, and they approached the city with having outside dining, and so we have this ordinance that planning and zoning also took up. So basically, we just wanted to make sure that it's accessible, that it's safe, and then we had some recommendations for furniture and how to secure it and things like that. So
Well, we just want to expand the business out a little bit because we're more of a community-orientated restaurant. So we're getting a lot of people that haven't been to Normandy in a long time, or went to school in Normandy or lived in Normandy, now coming back into the community. And we just need a little outside dining for them to smoke, because we don't allow smoking in the restaurant or vaping. And it'll help the business because every community around here has outside dining. Ferguson, U City, everybody has outside dining except for Normandy. So I think that will raise the level of Normandy up a little bit to where we can get people to patronize us a little bit more because they smoke cigars or whatever. And we don't want that in the restaurant, the smoking in the restaurant. So outside seating, some type of patio would help the businesses surrounding the area to be more community orientated. And we just hoping that the board will vote that in so we can get that in while the summer is here. Before it gets out, so. That's all I got. If anybody got any questions for me.
Yeah, I have one question. What's the setback from the street? It looks like it's about 50 feet, maybe more.
No, it is 5 feet. There's a
5 feet
Okay.
from the
5-foot separation between outdoor dining furniture and the edge of the curb.
Yeah.
And other
And then
pictures.
what was
in
it from the
the-
parking lot?
Said 5 feet.
Was it still 5?
That is, where is that? No, it's in here. There is a.
No, it's
I don't believe,
7. Is it 7? No.
I don't believe we addressed that specifically, like how distance from the parking lot.
Okay. I know from the street, the setback is probably around 30 feet.
Oh,
30,
that's right.
35.
It's also 5 feet from the edge of driveways. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, he has more than enough room. 5 feet, 35.
So we never had outdoor dining and don't?
No.
No.
How many
That way that'll give us about 10 feet from the lot.
If I may, so I won't dive into the details, you all had an opportunity to read this, but broadly speaking, what this would require for anyone, any business that wants to operate outdoor dining, they'll have to apply for a permit, right? They'll have to submit a plan showing, you know, where they, you know, basically what the plan is for how many tables they're gonna have, where they're gonna be set, showing that they meet the location guidelines. Specifically, these have been drafted to comply with federal accessibility regulations to make sure that, you know, people who need extra space can maneuver and things like that, that things aren't blocking up the sidewalk and things like that. So again, this is not just opening things up for businesses to just start throwing tables wherever they want willy-nilly, right? The city will still have a hand in planning and overseeing, and the permit is renewable annually, right? So there's ongoing oversight to make sure that things aren't getting overcrowded and out of control and causing a problem.
So, right.
We don't. Any questions from the audience? Oh, shoot.
Is this dining going to be forward facing out towards Natural Bridge at the roundabout? Or is it off to the side of the building? Because I know that we mentioned a lot of other businesses that have outdoor dining, but they typically tend to be off to the sides of the building to prohibit
Yeah.
street traffic from.
This is gonna be closer to the building,
Correct.
yeah. So they have, Honey's is unique because they have a very
Large.
large area in front of theirs. You would have to have enough space to actually have that dining room available.
Well, I would say, and I appreciate that, you know, Honey's has taken the initiative to spearhead this. I think this is, you know, a really great addition to the code. As far as the specifics go for Honey's though, I think that's better, like whenever a permit has to be applied for, like that's when a lot of those
Yeah,
issues to ensure public safety and whatnot will be addressed, right? Now is not necessarily the time to do anything. Not gonna set anything in stone right now, so.
can you give us your, oh, are you?
No, Chief, go ahead.
don't want to go all the way up.
Oh. Can you give us your name and address for the record?
No,
Yeah.
okay.
We need your name and address for the record.
Okay, yep, LaShonda Barnes, 5942 Bermuda Drive. It's more of a comment, first time hearing about this, but I do think that that would be a good step forward for the city because, you know, outside dining is something that a lot of people want, especially in Missouri. I mean, we're stuck in the house several months throughout the year, so when the weather is nice, I don't particularly smoke, but I also would appreciate the fact that I can go to a restaurant where there's not smoking, but yet if I really wanted to, I could sit outside. And I may get the name wrong, but I remember when Spiro's was down the street, they had and they were on the street facing, it wasn't a big area that was out there, but they had maybe 3 or 4 tables out there that was facing Natural Bridge, and so this wouldn't be something that's never been done before. But I also think that having an outside patio signals to people that Normandy is safe. So that's it.
Thank you.
Excuse me. May I speak, Mayor?
Yes, please.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
People in the audience, it's wonderful. I like to see all these people out here. As a former councilman and some of the board members here,
Oh,
the
I'm sorry,
Honeys,
can you give your name and address?
Rick Nelson, 7734 LaCorn Court. I'm speaking on behalf of Honeys. The Gray Streets was a tremendous, of course, a tremendous gathering there. That's what that was the purpose of Gray Streets. Honeys is, the sidewalk is there, and easement for the city is to the north of the sidewalk. There's at least 30 feet into the building, and maybe even 50 to 60 feet, maybe 2 yards, I'd say 10 yards to the east. So there's enough space, and that's what it was created for. They've been here, they've done a wonderful job. I think everybody on this board has eaten there, at least once or twice. It's some tremendous food, and I think that it is time It is spring, and summer's here. We may have a really nice fall, but I think that it's time to give them the opportunity to be able to do like the other cities. Your city, wherever you go, they're sitting outside of Eden. Ferguson, we need to have that. That's what the Great Streets was designed for. So I think I really take my hat off to this gentleman here and his family for bringing that business to Normandy. So I think on behalf of the board, I think we need to allow them to be able to have this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the audience?
I agree.
All right, can I get a motion to close the public hearing portion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. That concludes the public hearing portion. Can I get? Can I get a roll call vote, please? Roll call, not vote. Roll call.
Councilman Schotzenheimer?
Here.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
Here.
Councilman Washington?
Here.
Councilman Evans?
Here.
Councilwoman Bore?
Here.
Councilwoman Shivers?
Here.
Councilman Roberts?
Here.
Councilwoman Baye?
Here.
You have the quorum.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next, oath of office. So we're gonna, if you would like to have a cupcake or coffee or water, it's on the side table over here. Please enjoy yourself. We are going to have our oath of office now, so please feel free to take pictures. All that. I'm first.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly
that
swear
I will support and uphold
that I will support and
the
uphold
Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
all applicable laws of the State of Missouri,
all applicable laws of the State of Missouri,
and the ordinances of the City of Normandy,
and the ordinances of the City of Normandy,
and that I will faithfully demean myself in the office of mayor
and I will faithfully demean myself in the office of mayor
of the City of Normandy,
of the
to which
City
I
of
was appointed,
Normandy, to which I was appointed.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay, so next we're gonna have, yes, Councilman Roberts, Councilwoman Bray, Councilwoman Cleveland, and then Councilman Washington. Yes, go around. Go to I.
Okay.
Are you with the short people in the end? Okay.
Will you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support and uphold
I will support and uphold
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
all applicable laws of the State of Missouri,
all applicable laws of the State of Missouri,
and the ordinances of the City of Normandy,
and the ordinances of the City of Normandy,
and that I will faithfully demean myself
I will faithfully
in the office of council member
in the office of council
of the
member
city of Normandy,
of the city of Normandy,
to which I was appointed,
to which I was appointed.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
You guys didn't pause for a picture. Can we get a picture? Nobody got any still pictures?
Hey sis, look at me sis.
These would look great on our Facebook. Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations. Everybody got your picture?
By yourself, sis. By yourself. Perfect, sis. That's the little one. I'm the bigger one, the older one.
All right, next on the agenda, we're gonna have citizen comments. If you would like to make a citizen comment, please give your name and address to Kiana DeVarmo, our city.
One more question.
Citizen comments are 3 minutes. There is no conversation with the council members. So if you ask a question, let's say you say, what's happening down the road on Natural Bridge? Okay, we are not going to answer you. And that is not to be rude, this is your 3 minutes. And so what we will do is if you give your contact information, we can contact you later. And also it just keeps the meeting going and everything. If you would like to make an appointment with your council member or call them to like talk about something in particular, please feel free to do so. And everything, all contact information is on the website, and you can certainly make an appointment with any of our department heads also. But this is your 3 minutes to talk about whatever you would like to talk about, and we are here to listen and not to comment on anything that you feel strongly or please. You got one?
Miss Moore, she's on Zoom.
Good morning or good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. Congratulations to all of our new council members. You all look great and hoping for a successful 2-year term for you all. Just wanted to make a few quick comments, in particular to the new council members and to the ones that have already been in their seats. The next portion is for you. Regardless of who you align with, who you like, who helped you with your campaign, you do not owe anybody a vote. It's actually illegal to barter votes for projects. As an example, if I was the council person for Ward 4, I can't tell the person in Ward 1, hey, vote for what I want and I'll vote for what you want. Besides it being illegal, it's immoral and unethical, and you're not here to do that. You're here for us, the residents. The city is not a piggy bank for personal pet projects. So I would just like to remind everyone to please do the right thing. To the city attorney, Andrew, friendly reminder, you're not Yolanda's attorney. You're not the council's attorney. You are, however, the attorney for the city of Normandy, which means you need to act in the best interest of the residents of the city. If you're not sure about something, and this is for anyone who can hear me, it is not a show of weakness to not know something. It is a sign of strength to seek clarity. The city does not need any more lawsuits. They're extremely expensive, regardless of what certain people may think. And we've seen that with our insurance going from a reasonable $100K to over $500K because of mismanagement and city foolishness. So please do the right thing. Really quickly, I've been advocating for missing street signs to be replaced since 2018. I have the documents to prove it. Finally got some action on that. They haven't been put on my street. I spoke about this 2 meetings ago. Sam assured me they will be done by the time he left. They're still not there. Besides coming to all the meetings and writing emails weekly, I don't know what else to do to get you all to act. We need street signs. It's important, especially we can spend $30,000 on a sign in front of the building that hardly a third of the city doesn't see. Next, speaking of that sign, you all need to change the colors, whether you're standing at the front door of the city office or driving by, the colors are distracting and they clash and you can't see them. I would suggest sticking to a black background with white font or yellow or green. All this blue on blue and yellow on blue, you really can't see it. Second, third, advocating again for street cleaning. Our streets are crumbling. They wash away. We used to get street sweeping. Haven't seen it happen in years. We'll love to have that come back, especially when there's debris that's been sitting for months. Just really quick to wrap up, I want to leave all of you all with this in your personal life, especially in these positions. Those who do not plan to fail. That includes planning quarterly, planning ahead of time, planning for inclement weather, planning for cleanups. We should not be discussing what to do a week or a month before something happens. The best communication is over communication. Thank you all very much, and happy spring.
Anyone else?
My name is Carlotta Harris. I'm at 5994 Bermuda Drive, 63135. I just wanted to speak on the trash service, and I like you have to call to get heavy bulk. They do a good job, but the heavy bulk I'm having a problem with because like they say you can get 4 times every Monday, 1 pickup, correct? And I understand that totally, but then the renting went up, and now they say it's once a month, and you gotta call them. You know, this is my thing. You gotta call them when you put one item out once a month, and the trash truck pick it up. You know what I'm saying? You know, so why do I need to call you? Because every time I call, go online, I have a problem. So I just feel like they didn't raise their rent, they didn't lower this once a month now instead of 4 times a month. You know, and I have a problem with that calling them to get something taken away. And I pretty much know what they ain't gonna pick up and what they will pick up, you know, common sense, you know. And because if it's something that's not, they won't pick it up. You know, so that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, that closes citizen comments. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming and being an active participant, especially in the democratic process. It is really important that we exercise our vote and our right to vote, and I look forward to more people getting involved with the voting process. So this is a new chapter for Normandy. We want to basically make sure that we're focusing on stability, service, and making sure that we have a shared progress. It is one of my goals to make sure that our services are better and that they improve our operations and that we strengthen our infrastructure. We are actively seeking right now a public works director and also a city administrator. And so those two are very, very important jobs in the city, and they help with the day-to-day operations and also making sure that our core services stay intact. I have talked to the board, and this is something that we are going to work on actively. about making sure that we're active and that we are in the community, not just like in Normandy, but also making connections with nonprofits, making sure that we are educating people. One of the things that I'm actively working on with Terry Gannon is to make sure is putting together home ownership classes for the community. So that's something that you guys are going to be hearing something about, because when we have home ownership and we can have people that are older stay in their home through grants or, you know, making improvements to their homes and seeking out nonprofits, that really improves our revenue as a city, and it lets people know that we are an active community. So that's something that we really, I talked to a few people about it when I walked around. I want to make sure that we are stabilizing our community. Parkchester Park, we have Hoselle Park that's going to be opening up soon, and Tony Washington is going to give you some information about that. I also want to make sure that we're talking about the budget. There are a lot of things, if you are not in tune with what's going on in Jefferson City, there are a lot of things that are happening to our state budget which trickle down to our city budget. And so when they cut funding or cut out, you know, revenue on the state level, we don't get it. And so when we have these budget talks, and our budget talks are going to start coming up in June, we're going to have some really hard decisions about how we're going to spend our money, how much money we're going to get. We have senior tax freezes that we don't have clarification for, like when it comes to revenue and things like that. So just please be patient with us when it comes to it. Please be active in the budget process. Talk to your council members about what you want to see. Talk to them about where you would like to see our money go and everything. The other thing that we're going to be talking about is are the medians. On the 26th of June, I promised people when I was the mayor pro tem that we would have a town hall about the medians and how we wanted to tackle that. And the cost and everything, and getting suggestions. One of the things that I have done is I talked to Waste Management. They have agreed to give us suggestions, and they have contacted Missouri Botanical Gardens. And so we have some things in the work, like right now, with them giving suggestions. Waste Management is also going to come out on please mark your calendars. This is the second time that they're going to come out. On the 16th and on the 23rd of May, they will be in City Hall from 10 to 5. And if people remember from March, I had them come out for 2 days. They are going to sign people up for senior discounts. They are going to talk to you about your service. If you have any questions about bulk pickup, if you have any questions about how to get bulk pickup, they will also be giving out mattress bags while we have them. That is one of the things that I asked them to contribute to the community. So if you are throwing out a mattress, if you're not doing it now, you might do it later. Keep the bag. Take the bag and keep the bag, okay? Because your mattress will not get picked up if you do not have it in a bag. So even if you think you're going to use it maybe 2 years down the road, take the bag. So please mark your calendars on the 16th and the 23rd. They will be here from 10 to 5. So the other thing that we will be talking about is when it comes to the medians is also the fountain, because we've had the fountain is broken. If anybody it's broken again, and so we have a cost that we have to figure out how we're going to pay for it. The motor has gone out, and we got a quote for $7,000. So like I talk about with the money that we have and the money that we don't have, what we want to do with the medians, we have to make those hard decisions about what we're going to do. So I think it's really important for everyone to know. I walked around, I talked to people. Please be active in the community. Please make sure that you are talking to your council people. One of the things that we are gonna do is I'm gonna actively have town halls and everything, so you can figure out, or you can hear what is going on, and also your council members will be talking to you about what's going on. For instance, you're about to start mowing your lawns. We have a noise ordinance. You cannot mow your lawn before 7 a.m. You cannot mow your lawn after 9 a.m. That is the law. So those are things that people may not know and everything. And it's not just like this is the law and you have to I want you to have as much information as possible. If you get tired of us giving you information, I think that's great and everything. The other thing that I really want people to understand, please use the Normandy website. Please go to our Normandy City website. Please go to our Facebook page. We just had a great Easter egg hunt. It was at Core Collaborative. We had like 54 people that showed up. We had 100 people that we would pay for free, and 50 people showed up. That was a great activity for the community. We want that to be our annual event. So if you're checking the Facebook page, if you're checking our website and everything, and just letting us know that you enjoyed it, you're posting and everything, that's another way for us to rebrand ourselves as a community. Because when you are showing people that my community is great and look at all the great things that we're doing, people want to come here and live, right? I'll buy that house and I'll fix it up. So please think about that too. A couple of other things. The Hosel Park reopening flyer is on that table, and also on the outside table, I have some flyers for some community events and everything. If you want to take some when you're going, they will also be posted on the Facebook page. So that is my spiel. I will start actually.
I would like to make a comment. I got a couple calls about, we have 5 streets in Ward 1 that is having new water pipes put in. And they're complaining about the cold patch that's being put on there. There's 3 phases to this. This is the first phase that's being done by the water company. There's been an agreement between the mayor and the water company for phase 3. But there's also a second, when you see these pipes come in and you see the big bulk of coal patch they put on, that's phase 1. Phase 2 is the water company will have contractors come in, connect your house to the new pipes. That's 2. The third one is those 5 streets, if everything works out well, a part of the agreement that the mayor and the water company did is we're scheduled, if everything goes well, is to get an overlay on those 5 streets when we're done. So that's the third phase. So when you see the nasty patch, and some of it may get on your car, I mean, it's cheap cold patch. That's all they were required to do at this point as a part of the agreement. So everything's going according to schedule. They're on their last 3 streets. So just be patient. Be patient. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I want to read my thoughts because I type at work. So. Okay, I'm requesting regular police patrol in Ward 1. We are seeing a lot of negative activities in our ward. Yes, it's advised that we call the non-emergent police number so it's documented. The problem is, and it remains, that folks are afraid to call fearing retaliation. I'm just trying to prevent a long, miserable summer. So if we can get that happening. Also, can we pass out flyers before the 4th of July stating that fireworks are prohibited in Normandy and that violators will be fined? Last year it was a war in Ward 1. You saw nothing but smoke. We have to control that some kind of way. I know they can't do it 100%, but it needs to be controlled if possible. And if we can pass out flyers, I'll volunteer to pass them out with them, but something needs to happen. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, I got a couple of issues, a couple of things I want to bring up. The sign at Horizon and Skyview has been missing for a while. I know the previous public works director said he was going to replace them all, but he forgot one, so we need to get that taken care of. I remember back in the day when I grew up, we used to have the mosquito spraying with the truck, the fog in the back. I don't know if we can still do that or not, but the mosquitoes are getting outrageous. Oh yeah. You can't even sit in your backyard, okay? So I don't know if we can get that reestablished.
We have to pay for it. It's a service. So we pay for it.
The city pays for it?
Yeah, the city pays for it. St. Louis County to come in and do it.
They didn't know to come around, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hopefully we can get that done soon. Like the mayor stated, we're having a grand reopening at Hosel Park on May 24th from 10 to 12. We're gonna have kids' activities, T-ball game, we have music, and we're gonna have refreshments for everyone, so.
Say 10 to 12?
10 to 12. And pickleball, I'm sorry. Pickleball, basketball. Oh, pickleball lessons, yes. Pickleball lessons. Anybody want to play pickleball, want to learn how to play pickleball? Come out on May 24th, 10 to 12. Okay? We're going to have a event the Parks Board is putting on, Shakespeare in the Park. That's going to be on September 5th. I don't have the time, but the date is September 5th. And then in October 4th, from 4 to 8, we're going to have a jazz festival. That's going to be a court collective. So, everybody write these dates down. Attend all the community activities we're trying to establish for you guys.
Would there be signage?
Signage.
More one, two.
Yeah, we'll put some out. That's all I have. Oh yeah, also, grass. I mean, it's been raining lately, so it's been kind of high, but we need to make sure you cut your yard, and if not, we'll have to send the code enforcer out to take a look at it, but make sure you stay on top of your grass. Ward 2. If any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to me, text, email, phone call. Thank you.
I mentioned grass because we had the same calls about the same
Same
residents,
person.
yeah, same person. We just have two things. There's a sign on Colton and Bellwood that's been missing for about 2 years. Can we get somebody to look at that? And for the grand reopening in Hosel Park, we're gonna need the water turned on before then and pressurize and check to make sure there's no leaks.
Did that happen on Tuesday? Did that happen on Tuesday?
Did it-
Today. Oh, today. Oh,
Did it
today's
happen
Tuesday.
today? Is it today or next Tuesday?
It's today. It was today it was gonna happen.
There was
yeah.
no leaks?
From my understanding, there were.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go up there and check. Normally there's leaks.
Well, we did the remodel, so.
Okay, and like, Councilman, was saying that there's a T-ball game at 10 o'clock, and everybody just come check the T-ball game out. These little 5 to 7-year-olds, they have fun. It's not all about winning with them. It's about when am I gonna get my stack? So, come check them out. They have so much fun out there. So, that's all I have. And these are regular rookies too.
Yes, we were trying to have a kickball game that didn't work out. Councilman Evans, I asked him, can Redbird rookies come? And I think that's gonna be a good addition.
Oh, yeah, T-ball.
Look, see the little kids.
They're not screaming and hollering at each other.
Not yet. You have anything?
I do. I wrote a little something. I'm new. I'm Councilwoman for Ward 3. I'm Julia. So if any of Ward 3 is present, thank you all for believing in me and allowing me to sit in the seat. I don't sit here by myself though, outside of the council and the mayor. I sit with you because I sit for you. If you have a problem, call me, email me, text me, stop by my house, knock on my door. I don't have a dog, you don't have to worry about that. But I'm available. Not just available because I wanted to be in this seat. I'm available because I felt that I needed to be here to represent us. Not just Ward 3, but the city of Normandy. So I'm a writer as well, so I did come up with a little something. We're gathered here to affirm the promise of our building a better Normandy and the power of our community. At a time when families are working harder than ever to make ends meet. When the challenges facing our neighborhoods are real and urgent. This moment reminds us that progress is still possible when we stand together. The people of Ward 3 did not just vote for representation, you all voted for results. I'm here to help us get those results. You voted for vision. I'm a visionary. Yes. You voted for someone who listens and leads with the heart. I'm a great listener. There's a lot of people in this room that can vouch for that.
That's right.
Bunch of them on this side, there's some back there behind you all. I appreciate my family for coming out to support me. I really do appreciate how they believe in me and how you all believed in me to allow me to occupy this seat for these 2 years. I'm here to serve. A lot of my work was done in the city. I'm known as Mama Julia Davis. I got a good name in the city. I have a good name in this county. I gotta keep this good name because now I just don't stand before them. I stand before you all and the city of Normandy. I'm going to earn your trust, your respect. When I come here for you. As I said before, if you need me, call me. I have these shades on because I have thyroid eye disease. The lights bother my eyes. So to make sure that when I go home, I'm able to study what I need to know in order to properly represent us, I need my shades. Going to the eye doctor so they can get me some a little better than what I have, but for right now, I'm gonna call these sufficient. And I appreciate you all allowing me this. But we have real work to do. The work of rebuilding our streets. I know in Ward 3, you all are tired of tearing your cars up. I'm tired of tearing mine up. I just got this vehicle. Got new tires. I want them to stay pretty good because we still got to get through the winter. So we're going to be working on that, getting our streets together, keeping our neighborhoods safe. I support our chief of police and our police officers. They've been supportive of my family. We deal with the situation with one of us with mental health issues. So therefore, when I call on our chief, she comes through, she helps me get done what needs to get done. She has assured me that the officers here are concerned about people, not just regular people, everybody. People with mental health issues are regular people.
That's right.
They just need a little extra encouragement, a little extra help. Chief Sanders makes sure that that happens whenever she responds to my call. I can assure you that she'll do the same thing for you all too, if you have that need. Mental health is not a bad thing. It is a condition. Just like a physical health condition is a condition. We must remove the stigma from mental health.
That's right.
I'm here to help restore trust in our city hall. I know it won't happen overnight, but what Normandy has shown again and again is that when things are tough, we don't sit back, we step up. This is a city built on perseverance, shaped by families and held together by neighbors who still believe in looking out for one another. That spirit is alive in this room tonight, and it will guide us as we move forward. I didn't come here to make history. I came to make a difference. And with the help of every resident, every council member, every city employee, that difference starts now, and it starts with us. Our work is rooted in one simple idea, that our local government can still be a force for good when it's rooted in service and not status. In service.
That's right.
And not status.
That's right.
Amen.
That's the charge I accept today. Not alone, but with all of you. I'd like to thank every resident, whether you voted for me or not. Terry Gannon, Becky Harrington, I'd like to thank you all for voting for me. Rick Nelson, I truly appreciate you, your support, your belief in me, and telling me that this seat is where I belong. Thank you. Let's get the work done. Let's build a better Normandy, and we can do it. It's possible.
That's right.
I believe in us. Let's all believe in us.
Thank you.
wait, I'm sorry, I missed Shivers. Councilwoman Shivers,
Yes.
do you have anything on the award report? I'm sorry, I skipped over you.
I was just sitting back and just enjoying the moment. The ceremony was beautiful, and congrats to everyone that was elected. And I'm sure we can work together as a council. I wanted to apologize, but it isn't my fault. I've been to Chicago, Ohio, Michigan, and my son got married in San Francisco Bay on May 3rd. Got back to St. Louis for Mother's Day and got sick. So I had to get a Z-Pack. But I wish I was there. I am there in heart and in spirit. So again, congratulations. And you all look good sitting up there.
Thank you.
Anyways, I did get an email from one of our citizens on Augusta, and he's is stating that he's getting a lot of noise from the sanitation trucks that pick up those big dumpsters. And he stated that it's like 4:45 in the morning. So I did let him know that I would address the issue at the board meeting. So that's what I'm doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I'm the newest councilman for the 4th Ward, Julian Roberts, and I think one note that I did want to speak on is just housing. We do have some new homes, we have some homes for sale in the 4th Ward, so if you know anybody looking for a house to buy, we do have some. And the biggest thing I think is vacancies, just getting some timelines on just some demolitions for some of the vacant homes we have in the 4th Ward, so this is kind of my 2 topics.
Okay. First of all, I want to welcome all the new members. Some of them we know, some of them are new to me, but I've been on the board here for 1 year. I was the chair of Glen Echo for 10 years before that, so we chose to be a part of Normandy. It's like an adopted child. We chose to be a part of Normandy, and it's good to be here. We do have some challenges, but I am grateful that we have such a group of people who are willing to work toward resolving some of those issues. I want to piggyback on something that Councilman Saxenheimer had talked about, and that's the American Water Project. We went through that with American Water and with MSD. What I want to suggest to you, anybody, take pictures of your property now, how it looks when it's great in the summertime, because they promise restoration, but they don't always do it. A lot of damage was done to my property, and it all depends on the subcontractor, but make sure that you take pictures of your property, take pictures when they're doing the work, and take pictures after, so that you have some documentation to go to them and demand that your property be restored. I echo also, the second thing I had wanted to talk about was demos. There were 3 demos slated for the city of Normandy, 2 on St. Andrew's Place, and I haven't heard anything about that for several months. There's lots of concerns about vacant properties, especially the dangerous buildings, because as we see, there's been so many people getting hurt in some of these vacant houses. One of my residents is usually here to talk about one in particular. She's not here, so I'm taking her place. We need to take care of these issues and get it done before the end of before winter sets in again, because the money was approved in this year's budget. We need to spend it. We need to figure out what we're going to do. Again, we have some issues around streets that we need some patching and so forth done. The next thing I want to talk about is the fence line between the country club and the city, along there. We didn't have a lot of success dealing with the country club when we were a little two-street village. We're now part of Normandy. The golf course is part of Normandy. I did have a specific conversation about fence line cleaning. And while I don't know that we do have an ordinance that says that you cannot have a lot of overgrowth on your fence. The fence between the village, and I'll always call it that because it's been the village forever. But the Normandy and the country club, we don't want it to become overgrown like the problems that we have along Parkchester Park. So if we can get some action moving on, I'll talk to them again, and to make sure that that fence line is kept clean, because I've got a great view. I cut my side of the fence as often as I can, but they need to do their job in keeping the other side clean. So those are some of the things. Oh, the other thing is our little park needs some TLC. We've planted all perennials in there with a specific understanding that all you had to do was to deadhead stuff in the fall, and it would always come back. But that wasn't done last fall, and spring is here and stuff is growing crazy. So if we could just get that cleaned up, that would be great.
Thank you. City administrator. For those who don't know, Marty Corcoran is our interim city administrator. Sam Johnson left and went to Florissant. He will be missed. So Marty is charged with standing in for Sam until we get a new city administrator, and he's going to give us a couple of updates in our positions.
I put on your desk this evening a brochure that I'd like to be able to send out to various hiring agencies that deal with city administrators for local government. And I also gave you a list of potential places to advertise. I'd like you to review that and get back to me, because the sooner I get your input, the sooner I can put that information out publicly and we can start recruiting people.
Public Works.
Public Works Director, we're down to 2 finalists. Hopefully, we'll have a finalist that the mayor can bring to the council by the next council meeting, if not before. And we are set a young man to get drug tested and is physical to be the 3rd Public Works employee. And hopefully we'll pass both of those, and we'll hear about him tomorrow. So one other thing, Councilman Washington mentioned the grass. Obviously, we've had more than our fair share of rain these last few weeks, and the Public Works Department is behind in getting grass cut, but we'll get caught up and get back to normal. Hopefully the rain will slow down.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
She's not here. Treasurer, Mr. Ellis.
Good evening, Mayor, council persons, residents and guests. My name is Charles Ellis, for those who have not met me as of yet. I serve as the treasurer for the city of Normandy, just looking over the financial information on a monthly basis. I submitted a narrative for March 2025, and Mr. Garmo prepared a financial report for the first 6 months of the fiscal year as of March 31st. So I'll go ahead and read the narrative, and if y'all have any questions afterwards, please feel free. So Part A, summary of the income statement. For the month of March, city reported a net income of $40,000. That was for revenues of $322,000 versus expenditures of $282,000. Due to that result, the city realized an overall net deficit for the fiscal year to date of $188,000. That's total revenues of $2.022 million versus expenditures of $2.21 million. For Part B, that's the summary of the general fund balance. So the general fund unrestricted cash balance as of March 31st, $899,000. The Village of Glen Echo Park project balance as of March 31st, $74,000. Amounts due to the general fund from other funds, $442,000. And amounts due from the general fund to other funds, $147,000. That brings the total general fund balance to $1,268,000. Then for restricted funds, you have the Drug Task Force restricted amount as of March 31st of $103,000. And the restricted amount at Simmons Bank as of March 31st, that's a total of $633,000. Total restricted amount comes to $736,000. Next, for Part C, we have income for the general fund. Ideally, the percentage of budget remaining for income at fiscal year to date should be at or below 50%, which would indicate that the amount of actual income was either the same or more than the budget amount of income. Unfortunately, the city fell short of the budget amount for income for fiscal year to date by about $149,000, or 3.4% of the total budget amount. For Part D, expenditures by department, general fund. Conversely, the percentage of budget remaining for expenditures at fiscal year to date should be at or above 50%, which would indicate that the amount of actual expenditures was either the same or less than the budget amount of expenditure. Unfortunately, the city spent more than it had budgeted for fiscal year to date by almost $40,000, or 0.9% of the total budget amount. When it came to the individual departments, some fared better in keeping expenses under budget while others did not. The departments that were under budget were the park department and the police department. Those that were over budget were courts, prosecuting attorney, administration, and public works. I would also mention, for the purposes of the income, you did happen to have about 3 categories that were very light with regard to the expected amount of income for the year so far, those being court fines, miscellaneous, and other financing sources. All of those were at 35% or less, whereas we were looking for at least 50%. I'll just note that, and then that'll be all I have.
Thank you. I think one of the things we need to address in this budget year is, I feel like we're overestimating court, and we've been doing it for the last 2 years. So that's something that we need to definitely look at, because that revenue is not guaranteed. Clearly, people pay their fines when they want, and everything. So just something to keep in mind. Any questions?
You mentioned that miscellaneous revenue. What are the sources generally of that miscellaneous revenue?
To be honest with you, Councilman, I'm not quite certain what those sources would be. I can research that and get back with you and let you know.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Okay, okay.
I'm sorry. We're good.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Can I get a motion to adopt the?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no old business, new business. Next week, I'm gonna open the floor to nominations for President Pro Tem of City Council. If anyone would like to nominate,
I nominate Steve Saxenheimer.
and one nomination for Councilman Saxenheimer,
I nominate Julia Bore.
one for Julia Bore.
I nominate myself.
Julia.
I would like to nominate Julia Beret, Third Ward Councilwoman.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Showtime.
I would like to nominate Steve Sachs,
Steve,
Mayor Pro Tem. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We're gonna take a vote.
We're gonna take a vote.
Mayor, the nominations need a second.
Oh, yes. Who got a second?
Wait, he didn't say anything.
Who got a second?
Councilwoman Borde.
Steve got a second, right?
Yes.
She got 2 seconds.
Wait a minute, but he didn't say anything yet.
Well, really,
No, you seconded, Karen.
No, I'm saying who got a first and a second?
So Councilwoman Cleveland made the
You
first.
nominated him.
I'll second.
And then, yeah, okay.
You second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
then
thought you
Councilwoman
nominated yourself.
Beret nominated herself, and then
Shivers.
Shiver second. And then we're at
Councilwoman
Councilwoman
Bayer.
Baye.
Can I get a second? Yeah, no, no, withdraw my self-nomination.
I'll go with Vicky.
You got a second?
I'll take Vicky.
She just, wait, hold on. She just fooled herself.
No,
So now did she
because
nominate
I-
herself again?
she can if she wants, I mean, and by all means, but, I guess really traditionally, there'd be a nomination, a second, and an immediate vote, right? 'Cause now-
Immediately after.
Right, because now the question is, like, who got the second first? That needs to be the first person
Okay.
to be voted on, right?
So Steve got the first second
From
from
Councilwoman Cleveland.
Councilman Evans.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Well,
Can I actually make a correction?
Sure.
I think the first person who actually got a second was Councilwoman Borde, because Councilman Evans, after that, had voted for
Okay.
Councilman Saxenheimer.
Councilwoman Shivers gave a second for
Okay.
the nomination of Councilwoman Beret. I think that's correct.
Correct.
We're gonna vote
So-
vote on Borex first.
Correct.
All right. All in favor for council, can I get a roll call vote? Or roll call?
Yes, okay. Councilman Saxenheimer?
No. But there's supposed to be.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
No.
Councilman Washington?
No.
Councilman Evans?
No.
Councilwoman Bore,
Yes.
Councilwoman Shivers,
This is for Councilwoman Beret, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
No.
and Councilwoman Bayer.
No.
Saxon Iverson?
I'm sorry.
So, I got three.
There's two yeses.
Yes, 2 yeses. Councilwoman Saxon Iverson? Councilman Saxon Iverson? Okay.
Yes.
Can I get a roll call?
Okay, great. Councilman Satzenhammer?
Yes.
I'm sorry, give me a moment. Councilwoman Cleveland?
Yes.
Councilman Washington?
No.
Councilman Evans?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bore?
No.
Councilwoman Shivers?
No.
Councilman Roberts?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bayer?
No.
That's a tie.
So for purposes of a tie, the mayor breaks the tie.
Yes.
So, excuse me, wait a minute. Going back to my self-nomination. You did a clarification after I withdrew. The instruction was not on the table when I withdrew. So I'm gonna ask that my nomination be put back in. Just a point of order. Can I get a second on that?
Oh, that was my question. Because she withdrew, so.
She did, I mean, it was. There has been a vote, right? So I mean, I guess, are you asking for a vote on your own nomination? We can have that vote.
I'm on the phone.
I think Councilman Washington nominated her.
She nominated herself, and then
Right.
he
Seconded
said,
it.
yeah.
But the instruction that we have to have a
So-
second to be on the ballot, to be voted for.
So she said,
Okay.
she said, I nominate myself. And then somebody said, you said we need a second. And then she said, I take myself off. And while she was saying that, Tony said, I second her. But she'd already finished the sentence.
I believe I heard I nominate.
Okay, so you didn't, okay.
So she's putting herself
So
back on.
she's putting herself back on.
and
That's-
Second her, so we can.
That is appropriate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. So we can vote.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
She nominated herself, he seconded, so.
Okay, can I get a roll call vote?
Councilman Satzenhammer?
No.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
No.
Councilman Washington?
Yes.
Councilman Evans?
No.
Councilwoman Bore? Councilwoman Shivers?
Okay, my apology, am I voting on Councilwoman Victoria now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and Beret is still in as also as well.
You just need your vote for Councilwoman Vallée.
Oh, okay. No offense, no.
Councilman Roberts?
Yes.
Can you, he's asking, can you, yeah,
Yeah,
you can vote for two people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Bayer?
Yes.
It's 5 no, yes.
No, it's Steve.
3 yes. I'm sorry?
Steve.
So we can vote for two candidates, yes or no?
I mean, we did allow it, right? I mean,
Even
it's
if the yes was a no, she would have 3.
correct.
Does that make sense?
This got a little
It
messy.
would, yeah.
But
So,
it's, I mean, we're. just
Either
letting you know.
either way you slice it, Saxonheimer is the mayor.
Yeah.
So,
He has 4 votes.
congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go, Steve.
Thanks.
Council Bill number 25-11, first reading. An ordinance of the City of Normandy, Missouri, amending section 405.705 accessory buildings of the City of Normandy Code, ordinances regarding setbacks for accessory buildings. Can I get a motion to accept the first reading?
So moved.
Any questions about this one?
It needs a second.
Yeah.
Second.
I need a second. Yeah.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Can we?
First reading.
That's the first reading.
Can we do this back to back?
For a second reading?
For number 4.
Are you asking if you can have I'm
Outside dining,
First
can we
and
do it
second
back to
reading.
back for outside dining?
as in a first and a second
Yes.
reading?
Yes.
If there needs to be a
It
motion,
needs to be unanimous though, right?
there needs to be a motion to have a second reading, and that requires the unanimous support of the council
Okay.
to have that second reading.
Number 3, Council Bill number 25-12, an ordinance of the City of Normandy, Missouri, amending section 405.840 of the City of Normandy Code of Ordinances regarding the manner of notice for meeting of the Board of Adjustments. Can I get a motion to accept the first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All right. Council Bill number 25-13, first reading in the ordinance of the City of Normandy, Missouri, amending Chapter 405 zoning regulations by the enactment of a new section 405.758, regulating outside dining as an accessory use. So if we all agree, we can actually have 2 motions and they can be all set for summer. So
Yeah,
it's
make a motion.
unanimous. You make a motion for a second?
Yeah.
Can I get a motion for the first reading?
Motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Got a motion for the second reading?
Yes, I would like to make a motion for the second reading of Bill 2514.
Can I get a second?
No, 2513. I'm
13.
sorry.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed.
Ayes have
It
it.
should be, for a unanimous vote, we should do a roll call.
Roll call?
Roll call.
Okay.
Yes.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Sachsenheimer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
Yes.
Councilman Washington?
Yes.
Councilman Evans?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bure?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shivers?
Yes.
Councilman Roberts?
Yes.
Councilwoman Baye?
Yes.
Council Bill 2513 is 837.
Thank you. What
Well,
was,
that was the motion for the second reading,
I'm sorry.
correct? So now there needs to be the second, have the second reading, and then a motion to adopt.
can I get a motion to adopt Council Bill number 25-13?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Roll call.
Aye.
Roll call. Roll call.
Councilman Sachsenheimer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
Yes.
Councilman Washington?
Yes.
Councilman Evans?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bure?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shivers?
Yes.
Councilman Roberts?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Baye?
Yes.
Ordinance number
Ordinance number is 837.
837. Thank you.
All right.
Did he leave?
No, he's back there.
Yeah, you're done. You got it. Yeah, you can start today.
No, there's still a permitting process, right?
Everybody go outside and eat. No. Yeah. Pay the permit fee. Which one is, okay, ordinance number, bill number 25-14. Can we get some background on this from the personnel?
Yes, so, what this ordinance does is amends the motor vehicle record background check that's currently in the personnel manual to, basically our insurance company wanted us to add this language. It just expands on the background check for any employees who are going to have to be driving a vehicle for the city. I read through this, it looks fine to me, so the language of the actual amendment is in the ordinance, and if it's approved, it'll be inserted into the personnel manual.
So we've had a couple of hires that were kind of disqualified because of dry coding, so this would definitely help with our insurance. And this is something like Andy said that they recommended, and we are adopting. We were already doing it, but we hadn't adopted it yet. With the what do you call it? Driving records and everything. So, Council Bill, do we need to adopt this today?
No, there's no rush.
Can I get a motion for Council Bill number 25-14, an ordinance of the City of Normandy amending section 8.6 of the City of Normandy Personnel Policy Manual?
Motion.
And second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Resolution number 25-24, resolution of the City of Normandy authorizing the mayor to grant an easement to Ameren, Missouri across 7302 Pasadena Boulevard in the City of Normandy. So this is for soul fishers to, they need some work done and Ameren needs to lay a line. Marty, you want to tell them about soul fishers?
They need to have additional electricity brought to their property. It's going across Pasadena Park at both Pasadena and Normandy owned. Neither city objects. Pasadena has already approved it. We have their document for the easement to take place. We need Normandy to approve it.
Let me understand, that's the back of their building?
It's at Roland.
Yeah, I know where it is, yeah. So it's gonna be, where's the actual digging gonna be?
The map is
It's on the far left of the property if you're standing on Roland.
Okay. All right.
Closest, so it'd be closest to Natural Bridge, maybe a better way to explain it.
Okay. Any other questions? Can I get a motion to approve resolution number 25-24?
Motion.
All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have. Oh, did I get a second?
I'll second.
Oh, sorry, second. All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Resolution number 25-25, a resolution of the City of Normandy appointing a member of Planning and Zoning. Mr. David White has graciously accepted the position of the position to be on Planning and Zoning. He is a resident of Normandy and has been for a very long time. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is David White. I've been a resident of Normandy for almost 40 years. My children raised in Normandy. Grew up in Normandy. I'm a community activist for Normandy. Actually, what has happened over the years is I've been given 2 Citizens Awards for being in Normandy. I don't know what's wrong with my throat here. But I've been given 2 Citizens Awards for being in Normandy. A Beautiful Home Award and a Citizens Award. I'm honored to be able to be on this committee if I'm voted to be on. I've been executive officer for my church for a number of years. I have vast experience in a lot of things, especially facilities and properties and everything else. My church actually is one of the largest churches in this region. And I'm the executive officer, one of the executive officers on the committee. So I just really wanted to just come up here and I don't know why I got nervous all of a sudden. I'm a really strong speaker. But if there's any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. Any questions?
And Mr. White, he has a beautiful gazebo.
Yes.
Yeah, he's so jealous of it.
Well,
beautiful.
Not only just that, I take a lot of pride in our community. I really do. I'm one of the people that you'll see walk up and down the street and pick up trash.
Right, yeah.
I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people, when they first built the Jones Trail, I was one of those people that went and picked up trash on the Jones Trail. I was that person. The community, the guys that lived in front of me and behind me, they, and my neighbors actually, they thought so much of me. That was one of the reasons why I ended up with these Citizens Award, because I take a lot of pride in them. I've lived here a long time. I take a lot of pride in this place. I got a lot of stock in this place. I could have moved anywhere I wanted to live, but I chose to stay here because my kids grew up here, and I've lived here, my whole adult life actually. So that's my spiel. Sorry for being so nervous. I'm really not nervous.
So,
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Our boards and commissions are unique in that a lot of people that are serving on the boards were citizens first, and now they're sitting on the dais as council people. So we have to make some adjustments. So Mr. White will actually be taking Julian's spot on planning and zoning. So I think he's gonna be a great addition. So I would like a motion to approve the appointment, approve resolution 25-25.
I make a motion.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. White.
So next is discussion of Juneteenth Day Parade participation. I received an email from Joyce Hughes. She is with Neighborhood Impact Community Group. They have a Juneteenth parade set up that goes from Lafayette Square. It's gonna go through downtown, Lafayette Avenue downtown. It's gonna end at Soulard. So we don't have to answer this right now, but all we would need for the city to participate is a truck or a vehicle of some type and a van. And what her organization, basically they work with, they're a group that empowers young black girls. So she was just trying to get as much community involvement as possible. I also put her in contact with Normandy High School. There's gonna be a battle of the bands. Riverview's gonna be there. Bashan is gonna be there, and Jennings High School will also be. So there will be a battle of the bands. And she was just asking, it's just a straw poll, we don't have to decide today. If Normandy was interested in participating in that parade. It's the first one that would be downtown. The fee is minimum, it's like $25 and everything. So we would just have to wake up early, because you gotta be there at like 7:30, I think, and walk the parade route, drive it, or whatever. And we can have multiple vehicles. We can start off with one and see how it goes, and everything. So just please keep that in mind. If you could email me by the end of the week and let me know if you are interested, it would just basically be getting the public works truck and everything. We could sit in it, we could walk behind it or whatever. Just let me know by the end of the week if you are interested. Next, discussion of cancellation of May 22nd City Council workshop. So on the 22nd, I have a commitment already. My daughter is graduating from 8th grade, so I will not be here. And our attorney will also not be here, and also the city clerk will also not be here. So I think it would be a good idea for us to not have that meeting, considering.
I agree.
Yes. So if everyone is in agreement on the 22nd, that meeting will not happen. We will have our regularly scheduled meeting, which will be June 10th. Is that the right date? June 10th.
Is that a holiday?
That's our, June 10th is the second Tuesday. That's our regular council meeting. So instead of, we're gonna skip the 22nd and come back for our regular council meeting June 10th.
Mm-hmm.
We need to vote for it.
We've had in the past, we've made motions.
Yeah. All in favor of canceling the May 22nd, 2025 City Council Workshop meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Citizen comments.
Mayor, real quick, I believe, the chief just alerted me to something that the police department was planning to raise with the council at the workshop, and it is time sensitive, so
Oh.
if Major Larson can speak.
Do I need,
So
do I
we
need a
may,
motion to?
no, but I'm saying, instead of that, we may need to consider like a special meeting just to address this one item, if it's something that the council
At the,
wants
in
to
the closed
consider.
session or now?
No, like a special meeting,
Like
Oh, a
no,
special meeting.
Yeah,
Oh.
like in lieu of the workshop, just a quick special meeting to consider a
How soon?
resolution
Sure.
that
I can speak a
Now,
little bit.
or?
No, it would be, we were forecasting this for later in the month, just because we're up against the deadline.
How
from
soon?
the state. It would be pertaining to a resolution from the city council and sponsorship of the police department for Governor Kehoe's Blue City initiative. Essentially, it would open up the doors for us to get grant funding up to the amount of $10 million is what they've allotted this budget year, for the 26th budget year later on. But if we receive that designation from the state, we're able to apply for that grant funding.
So
And
we
one of
have,
the pieces in order to do that would be to have a resolution in support of our initiatives, et cetera.
today's the 13th. Do you need it before Friday?
No, it would just be before the 1st of June.
Okay, so we have a planning and zoning meeting on the 20th?
No, that's
That's been canceled.
Oh, shoot.
That was canceled, but I mean.
Oh, well, then we can have it.
It's open, right?
Yeah, so do you got, so the planning and zoning meeting was gonna meet on the 20th at 5 o'clock. Can anybody be here at the same
What
time?
you would like to, I mean,
You gotta be
well,
there.
a resolution for that is specific.
Okay.
Yes.
You just- On the
What day is that?
20th. 6 o'clock.
Okay, but if it's still.
Tuesday the
when
20th.
would-
Tuesday, next week.
Yeah.
You said June 20th or May 20th?
May 20th.
Oh, May, yeah.
Yeah.
May
Councilwoman
20th.
Wright, can you do- can you do Tuesday? At 6?
I believe.
Right, but it doesn't have to be done all day.
Oh, okay.
You'll be here between then and
Councilwoman Wright, can you do?
Okay, if I may, so we don't actually need to, I mean, if you want, I just wanted to bring it up to everyone's attention, this resolution, just because if you wanted to figure out a date right now, you can, but.
Well, everybody's saying the 20th, so.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect,
I'm
wonderful.
almost-
And I've already drafted a resolution for another city, so we can just.
Yeah, we don't
fire that right off.
think that there's gonna be any issues with this or anything. However, it's sort of hey, we support these efforts and opens up the grant.
Councilwoman Shivers,
Yes.
you be available on the 20th at 6 o'clock?
Let me check. I don't know yet. Let me check. I have to check with to see if I am or not. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Thank
either,
you.
thank you, even if she's, Andy, because even if she's not, we still have a quorum.
As long as you have a quorum,
Yeah.
and I believe the clerk will not be there, but we.
You won't be here.
No,
Can
I'm
you
at a
get-
conference that
Oh,
week, that's the
can
reason.
you get on Zoom?
But-
No, because I
Oh.
actually have an engagement that evening.
You'll be here.
I'll be here.
Okay.
We'll be able to,
Okay, yeah.
sorry, Hannah, but
No,
we'll be
you're
able,
fine.
we'll be
Nope,
able to
you're
deal with
fine.
that. We'll be okay.
That's fine.
It's just a resolution.
No, I can't remember.
Thank
No, I
you.
understand.
Just for that one issue.
You can get on, yeah, you can get on.
Yeah, we can Zoom.
You can Zoom, anybody can Zoom. I'll be here, but anybody can get on Zoom. Okay, so, we'll put on books. We have May 20th at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Chief, May 20th, 6 o'clock?
May 20th,
May
6
20th,
o'clock,
6
I'll
o'clock.
be there.
Yeah. Oh, citizen comments. Any other citizen comments? Can I get a motion to,
I had something.
oh, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry. I do not mean to insult anyone, but we've had one person on the council for over 20 years, don't really have much community engagement unless he's looking for votes. I don't understand how you all still don't understand how motions go. I don't understand how you conveniently hear certain people, but then don't hear others. I just spoke on this at the beginning of the meeting about holding each other accountable and doing better, and the attorney he can't seem to get things in line. I don't understand. It's like he's more confused than the council is. And just a few meetings ago, he said that Robert's rules get tricky. They don't get tricky if you listen and follow the rules. Every meeting, when you all have something come up, if you watch these back, everybody seems confused. You're skipping over people. It's embarrassing. I would just ask everybody to please pay attention and listen so we can do better. My last point has two sub points. A city's most critical infrastructure includes communication and transportation. Steve, you were just talking about Ward 1. For transportation, we need our roads, not just in Ward 1, citywide, to be repaired and replaced. The previous mayor, I think Green, there was an issue. They didn't do regular paving. They did some kind of rock, and the streets are washing up. We need to work on that instead of spending millions on a hidden abandoned park that feels like a pet project. We need our city infrastructure to be improved. And lastly, for communications, Yolanda, you spoke on this earlier in the meeting. If you truly want people to be active, not just you, but the whole city needs to communicate, and not just the website. The same way last year, the chief went around and made sure there was a flyer placed on every home to make sure people knew not to pop fireworks. It was against the law. Yolanda, the same way you walk this entire city passing out flyers, you all even call people the night before the election. You need to care that much about communicating for citizen involvement, because if you don't, it looks like you only care about getting what you want and not the people. So infrastructure and communication, and let's tighten up how these situations go during the meeting. They're unproductive. They stretch the meeting out, and they optically they just look bad. Thank you.
Who else? Citizen comment. Somebody. Oh. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Wait, hold on. We have
I had nothing to talk about in
Nothing?
closed session.
Nothing?
So.
motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Congratulations, brother. How are you?